but they've had some other famous people also, and one of those famous people is somebody by the name of Etta May Libby. Now that name may ring a bell for you, and it may not. For those of you that came down earlier today, you were buying something down at the table where the stamps are that involved her. But her grandson, he's pretty old. No, I wouldn't say that. Her grandson works in town. Some of you know him. And Steve is going to talk a little bit about his grandmother. She had an absolutely phenomenal record and received all kinds of awards from the Postal Service. So, Steve, ready to go?
All right.
Good afternoon. What a great day. I don't know how close I should stand to this thing because I'm not a public speaker, but would like to thank the town and the Bicentennial Committee for honoring my grandmother. And her name was Etta May Libby. Maiden name was Nelson. And she lived from 1876 to 1958. She was born right here in town, out off the Higgins Road. If you go out towards Skowhegan on the Higgins Road, around the 90-degree corner, there's a woods road that goes down in there, and that's where she was born and lived, about probably half a mile into the woods. And she was the daughter of Augustus and May Nelson. The Nelson family had a lot of land out there, and they still do have a lot of land out there. They used to basically almost surround Sibley Pond at one time, and there's some of the descendants that live in Canaan, and some of them still own property in Pittsfield. She married Aaron C. Libby in 1907, and they lived just over the Detroit line on Route 69. The home now that Joe and Greta Chinquette owned. We lived there, my parents lived there until 1962 along with her, and sold it in 1962. She was a small woman. She only stood about 5'3" but she had all kinds of ambition and push. She started delivering mail in 1903 with a buggy and a horse and buggy and a sleigh in the winter. She worked 6 days a week, and her route was 20 miles long. She followed her father into the postal business. This is interesting. She took the job. She says she took the job because of her health. She thought if she was outside in the cold and the weather, it would make her better. They don't really use that rule anymore today, do they? One of the blizzards that they had, she completed her route, and no one else did complete their route, including her father. And one of the other times, the horse got unhooked from the buggy. He was spooked by an automobile, and she hung onto the reins and dragged her along till he finally stopped. She went to a nearby house, borrowed another horse, and completed her route. When she got back in Pittsfield, it was the talk of the town, I guess. They found out about it before she got back. She was nationally awarded as let me make sure I get this right. Yeah, well, anyway, she was nationally awarded by the Postmaster General, and in 1907 she married. And the postmaster said that she had to quit because he did not believe, the Postmaster General did not believe that women should work. They should be in their home. How would that go over today? There's more detail in the history thing that they're selling over there. Through her life, she was always doing something. One of the things that she did, was she took old books that had no longer use and glued newspaper articles in them. This was in the mid-40s that she did this, and this is an example of these old newspaper articles that she saw fit to save. It's really entertaining because they're all about local people and so forth in surrounding towns. And we have 67 of those books. She also was a member of a postcard company, a postcard swapping club. And we have 8 books of postcards from all over the United States from back, in the mid 40s. And we have here a lot of relatives. We got Nicole and her children. Nicole is a great grandchildren. We got three graders. Ron Lambert there behind, I can see. Janet Whitney's here somewhere. My wife and my daughter is here. Can't remember their names. You got Mary White, Mary and Rick White. You got Amber Quint. With the exception of Amber, they're all descendants of Etta May. So,
Family picture.
Pardon me?
Family picture up there.
King's office.
It's always an honor for me to be anywhere in the state of Maine on behalf of United States Senator Angus King. I'm one of his 7 regional representatives. I represent him in Oxford, Franklin, and Somerset counties. And I'm honored to do that because I'm a small town Maine boy myself. I come from Norway, Maine, in Oxford County. My family tree goes back for 7 generations. One of the things that I know Angus would say here today is that the greatness of America still lives and breathes, but it's not in Washington, D.C. The greatness of America, what makes this country great, and I get to witness this every day working for him in these rural counties, the greatness of America is represented right here and in the small towns and villages all across our state. This is not fake news. This is actually what has made this country great, and honestly, I believe that if we turned our cell phones off a little more and watched news a little bit less and continued to interact with our friends and neighbors, we'd recognize that it is greatness that we live in. And so to the younger people here today, and I'm always pleased when I'm at an event where there's somebody whose hair isn't gray. To the young people here today, this is what I'd like you to remember. Whether you were born in the state of Maine or you moved here, always be proud that you lived and grew up in the state of Maine. And I can tell you, and the older people here can tell you, no matter what you do in your life, no matter where you go, if somebody asks you where you're from and you say the state of Maine or Pittsfield, Maine, they're going to be envious. They're going to say, wow, I've always wanted to go to Maine, or I spent my summers in Maine, or is Maine as beautiful as they say? So never think that being from a small town isn't a great thing. I think going forward, it's going to be one of the best attributes and assets that you'll have in your whole life. So Senator King is what's called the Congressional Record Entry. Every word that's uttered on the Senate floor is recorded and printed and put in the Congressional Record. Every word. That's kind of disturbing in its own right. But rarely a senator has the right to get up and address the Senate and say something special about a special event, a special person, a special group. And so in May, last month, Senator King recorded on the Senate floor remarks about the 200th anniversary of the town of Pittsfield. And I can tell you that this isn't something that he does every day. And I'm not going to read the bulk of it because it talks about your history, the history of the town, how it came to be called Pittsfield, some of the outstanding events and businesses that have made Pittsfield what it is. But I am going to read the last paragraph. And it says, "It is an honor and a privilege to congratulate Pittsfield on this historic occasion. For 200 years, the town and its residents have repeatedly demonstrated that hard work and community spirit that is found throughout Maine. I hope the residents of Pittsfield take the opportunity during this year-long celebration to reflect on that rich history and to strive to make the next 200 years as prosperous as the last. Happy 200th birthday, Pittsfield, and congratulations to all who have made this a vibrant Maine community. And as is typical, Angus signed this actually a month ago today, May 19th. Congratulations. Now on to 200 more. Thank you very much.
For those of you that don't get the newsletter, I am the winner of the Tim Sample Lookalike Contest 3 years running at the Freiburg Fair. And in 1979, 40 years ago, was the last time I did a live outdoor performance, and it was part of the Egg Festival, and I was here with the Dubious Brothers, my band. We used to say when we play in Lewiston, they call us the Dubois Brothers, but they still give us the $50, $37.50 American. But anyway, I will be 7 o'clock tonight, right over here. Be there or be square or both. So I'm very pleased. I will talk more about my history in Pittsfield tonight, all right? But in the meantime, I'm very honored to read this letter. At the letterhead, it says, State of Maine, Office of the Governor, 1 State House Station, Augusta, Maine. Dated June 12th, 2019. Dear friends, I am pleased to join you in celebrating the bicentennial celebration of the founding of the town of Pittsfield. This landmark celebration is a wonderful opportunity to come together and celebrate the history of Pittsfield. First called Plymouth Gore and settled by Moses Martin in 1795. The town was later organized as the Plantation of Sebastopol. That was 1815, incorporated in 1819 as Warsaw, and changed to Pittsfield after William Pitts of Belgrade in 1824 as the birthplace of the 44th, 51st, and 62nd governors of Maine, and the home of the Maine Central Institute and the Bossoff Ballet Troupe. Pittsfield has made many contributions to the history of our state. And not to be forgotten, Pittsfield is the host, as I alluded to a moment ago, of the Central Maine Egg Festival, a celebration of the brown egg industry, marking its 47th year this July. Like most towns, Pittsfield has overcome struggle and enjoyed periods of prosperity, from fires and mill closures to innovative entrepreneurs and downtown investments. As a small town with city perks, including good jobs, great schools, scenic parks and trails, a friendly community, and 4 seasons of outdoor recreation, well, one of them is mostly indoor. No, just kidding. Pittsfield truly is a good place to call home. So enjoy the time capsules open. We already had the time capsule. Laugh along with Tim Sample. Thank you, Governor Mills. Get outdoors for Sebastopol River paddling tour and check out the many other events scheduled throughout the year. On behalf of the citizens of Maine, I wish the citizens of Pittsfield the best during your 200th anniversary celebration. I hope you to take this special occasion to celebrate your community and learn more about its rich history. And it's signed sincerely, Janet T. Mills, Governor of the state of Maine.